Hey guys, this is A. May Elizabeth and Words Cast Spells. And so I just want to talk for a minute, very briefly, on the latest subject, the ASS-ASS INATION that has everyone hypnotized at the moment. Which your first question should be, why is this here as a tool to distract us? I had never heard of this guy who was assassinated. And the only thing you can do is laugh. Can anyone other than me just examine this word for a moment that is in all the headlines? Okay, headlines as in wrinkles in the head, stressing you out. Ass in nation. So this isn't the first assassination. Let's look back. Of course, we know about the one from ancient times, which who knows if that even happened with the theater and Lincoln and all that. So let's look at the one in the 60s that was very popular. That's Mandela effect now. Same letter K as this one, K, two Ks, KK again, which for me is control. Like MK Ultra, the K in MK Ultra is its mind control. It's Germanic control with a K and two L's. So K, this Kirk guy named after Captain Kirk. I don't know. He's so strange looking, almost like a friend was talking to me about these masks. I don't know. I fly these people. I mean, I do fly the very elite people I have, although I don't want to do it much longer. But so I am in the quarters of the most noble, famous people in the world. There's no question. So there are theories that some of them are obviously clones and some of them wear masks and they're in disguises. This Kirk guy, who I had never heard of, and I'm so glad because I couldn't care less. I had never heard of him, and all of a sudden, and I do have a radio. I have a radio in my kitchen in New Orleans, and I was walking in, and they say this Charlie guy was just assassinated. And I thought, who the bleep is this dude? I don't know who this is. And then all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, all these people know him, and people who never even heard of him are now debating on one side or the other of him. They're researching him. They're going, oh, he was for this. He had these mantras. This was his. He was right-winged. He was in support of and promoted this. So my first question is, hang on, back it up. Where did he come from? Like, where did this guy even come from? Okay. He was groomed, I'm sure. Was he real? Who knows? But if you are a person, and even though, and now hang on, because I do have a different perspective, because I do, as I said, I am in the close quarters of these individuals. Not him per se, but in general, of the most elite levels of society. And I don't go to their eyes wide shut parties with them after their flight. However, I am in small, close quarters, and I am their only caregiver usually, other than their nannies or assistants. But what I'm trying to say is if once you've worked in this industry and you've been around Hollywood and all these politicians, okay, first off, they are never what they seem like ever. And where did they come from? They are groomed by an arm of society which controls the money, the mind, the whole system, right? So this guy, he didn't just walk up and step into this role out of nowhere. Clearly, likely, in my opinion, from adolescence or childhood, he was promoted, put into this role deliberately. You have to be one of them in order to do this, to rise to the top. And someone said something recently that was so stupid. Someone said, the cream rises to the top. What? No. No one's rising to the top at their own volition. No one is that has those that have real talent, that are really gifted, that are real creative, that are artists, that are musicians, that are actors, the real creative are unknown. They will never be household famous names. This guy that everyone's upset about was groomed likely from birth or a very young age. And if he actually was assassinated is to be determined. I have no idea. And I don't even care because it's not real. So lately, I have seen a couple things circulate on, finally, which I'm so glad about, the JFK thing. Because that shit was, excuse my French, that was not real either. So probably I'll get in trouble, so I will try to say this in a manner that is not coded. But so that whole ass in nation was also staged. I can't even listen to it when people are like, when they go on one side of the CIA did it, you know, and they bring up Lee Harvey. And actually Lee Harvey is from my part of Louisiana, very close to New Orleans. And even people there that knew him, you know, they still believe that story. And some people believe the CIA did it. But what about the third option? This is the problem, is when they want all of us to be, there's door number one, there's door number two. But what about the third door is what I ask to you listening. What about option number three? And that neither happened. And usually that's the closest to the truth. They want you to be on either side of it, right? So that you will be divided with family and friends, that you will be polarized. But if you don't choose either side and you take a look at it objectively, if you can objectively look at it instead of going with the download that everyone's on, if you can step away from that programming for a moment. Some of us are not programmable. I'm one of them. I'm not programmable. I don't know how I can see this stuff and others. It's very frustrating that other people can't see this. Was that guy, the Captain Kirk guy, was he really shot? I don't know, but I just don't care. I mean, okay, first off, let's say he wasn't. Then he was just whisked away and he was put underground, or he went off to somewhere that's not on a geographical map that us at the lower, you know, little bitty humans that we are told about. He's in a secret place, okay, with a different identity. And the guy actually has a very odd looking face to me, almost like he is wearing a mask. It's just very strange. So, don't get caught up in that is my only thing. If you're here comes the holidays, I'm sure it'll come up for a lot of people. Those that were in favor of the things that he discussed in his speeches and his politics and what he promoted. I'm not even sure. I'm not well versed on any of that. I just don't listen. I know I have an idea of what it's about. And it makes some people infuriated, I guess, the liberals, and then the other side of it, they're all, he was in support and he wanted to help us. And I want you to think about this for a moment. So they fired off a gun, whether that's real or not, none of us should care. This is intentional on the right side of the public to see that something can happen in the right-winged audience type event, crowded event situation, so that way you've got a whole new argument on the right side who are promoting and condoning guns. So absolutely, for sure, it's orchestrated. Probably even, I would guess, for many years. Whether it would be him or someone else, it was just this was the agenda. And try to see it objectively. And the other ASS in nation with Kennedy, very similar, and it was also to divide, to confuse, to be mysterious, to keep people hanging, to keep people sucked in. God, I just don't know how anyone can get into any of this stuff. I have friends that talk about current events. I do have some normie friends. I just can't. I don't find it interesting. I find it very dumbed down. It's not intellectual. It's not an expansion of the consciousness. It's not doing anything for your frequency when you waste your time on this media type stuff. So I think it's entertainment also for them. I think it's fun because it's mockery, because they love to put us. It's louche. It's for sure a great deal of louche. It's harvesting of the louche, and I'm sure that the dates on the zodiac line up with, and we would never know what that would mean, but they would know. And so I would advise anyone who really believes this to be true to step back and just ask yourself why you even care, and to realize it's all theater. It's no different from you sitting in the movies eating popcorn. So try not to get caught up in it. But it's in the language, is what I want to say, guys. It's in the language. 4 S's. Assassination. Okay? There was a well-known military group in, let's just say, I'm trying to be careful with my language and my words here, in Germany in the Second World War, and they were known for having some S's, and some would say that's the Anunnaki. So what they're doing behind the scenes with these staged events is something that we can only speculate. But here's the thing, is that they want to be known, okay, just like in the JFK one in the 60s. The not sees, all right, the not see, because you don't see them. You don't see the real agenda. You don't see the truth. You don't see who's really doing what, who's pulling the strings and what's really happening. You're actually just reading and watching something on a plasma black cubed screen. Please keep that in mind. And the more you let it roll off of you and you don't choose a side, the better off. I can't care. You could not pay me to care about this situation. All I want to point out to anyone listening is to notice the language, assassination. So they are laughing at us with that. Let's laugh back at these blanket blanks. So look how ridiculous their wording is. Okay? So this is, I wanted to keep this brief and concise, but I wanted to get my point across, and I hope that I did. And in the ridiculous nature of all this nonsense that is what we call the media, the social media, the internet. We've entered the net, right? So try to separate yourself and remember what's real, and it's not the artificial, the artifice that we read and that we see. And this is just another nonsense BS creation orchestrated by the dark forces. And thanks for listening.